Hey folks, welcome back. I don't exactly know where to start in this video other than the fact that, I destroyed the engine in this pickup here when I'm supposed to be a repair shop and actually fixing that kind of stuff. I know a lot of people might be, tuning in to say, oh, you very dumb idiot, this, that, and the other, you should have done this, you should have done that. Well, there's probably going to be a lot of discussion in all of this kind of stuff as to what I should not have done. But let's get started and we'll talk about what we did in the very beginning, the original mistake. I tried to fix the mistake. The mistake that I fixed didn't work, and therefore here's the engine destroyed. And then we've got a new long block over there to go in here. Long and short of it, this guy, this guy's gonna get a brand new long block engine from Ford over a mistake that I did. So let's get into it. All right, so basically this pickup came in and we did a few things as far as I think there was a coolant leak from a hose around the oil cooler or something. The fan clutch wasn't operating like it was supposed to. There was a few other things, whatever, but one of the main thing is you could hear a squealing noise under really hard acceleration, and then especially when you use the engine exhaust brake, and that's usually sign of you got an exhaust leak somewhere. And where the exhaust leak was coming out of the manifolds here. We had a couple of broken studs. I don't remember, there was like one broken stud on this side and then these two broken studs on this side. And with my experience with especially the 6.7 Cummins is if you get these things where they leak a lot of times with broken studs and all that, these things can become warped. So we elected to just replace the entire exhaust manifold on both sides, new gaskets, new studs, this, that, and the other. So that all seemed fine. He took the pickup. It didn't make it hardly 30 to 45 minutes away from here, and it developed this huge rattling sound, and it was bad. And he had it towed back over here, and by the time when I got it, by the time I was running it and everything, I could hear the noise a little bit, and then the noise just went away. Engine was running great, sounding good, everything was sounding good or whatever, but it was throwing a cylinder contribution for a problem with cylinder number 8. And then if you did the relative compression test, which I know doesn't stand in place of the an actual compression test, but while you're doing the relative compression test, this is where you hook the scanner up to it, you stick your foot down on the pedal all the way down, you crank the engine, it's going to crank for, I don't know, 10, 15, I can't remember exactly what it cranked for a long time. Well, you can hear it. You can hear the skip and everything like that. So we definitely have a mechanical issue going on with the contribution, and at that point it was determined that most likely something that I had dropped into either like this hole, because obviously cylinder number 8 is back here because they number these cylinders 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Could have fell down through this hole, or possibly even through this intake, because this is where the intake air goes into. Here it's your exhaust manifold for one side, this side's removed. Don't know what it was. Don't remember any bolts missing. Don't remember losing any tools. Could have just been a little rock. It could have been anything, but there was no signs of anything in here that could have gotten in there, based on the fact that, when I did the repair, that was pretty much just, it's my fault. And so I removed the cylinder head, And I've got a video on that, which I'll link in the description below, where you know, we removed the cylinder head. The cylinder head was obviously beat up. We had leaking valves and everything like that, because you could actually pour water, you know, like into the exhaust here, and then with the intake, or this, you know, this valve cover slash manifold, intake manifold off of here, you know, and you get water leaking it. So the head was bad. I can't show you the head because it gone back with a core. So I replaced the cylinder head on that side. So you can see this engine right here. Got a new cylinder head on here. We also changed the piston. And in that video, I showed you the piston and how beat up it was. I'm not going to show it here because, you know, like, you can check out that other video if you really want to know. But we actually, with the cab still on this pickup, you know, we removed the cylinder head, removed the transmission, did the remove the lower and upper oil pan. So here's the upper oil pan, and then there happens to be the lower oil pan. And we got in here and we removed the rod cap and took it off, took note of where it went, you know, how it oriented on there, and this, that, and the other. Pulled the piston out, replaced the piston. The piston's actually sitting clear over there, right on that toolbox. There it is, just a quick little short though, but we get in more in depth in that other video on exactly what happened to it. So, pulled the piston and the rod out, replaced the piston, we honed the cylinder, got it all nice and smooth and everything, and then put it all back together, and got everything all put back together and resealed and all that kind of stuff. Started up, everything was running great. I drove the thing around quite a bit for 2-3 days. He took it, he hauled his cars. I think he went all around the valley. He's got a 4-car trailer or something like that. Went to maybe 4 different locations throughout the valley. Picked up his cars and was headed out of the valley and was heading up the hill, and basically this engine seized up and would not rotate anymore. Long and short of it, it is not seized up anymore because we figured out that it spun that exact bearing here. So we've got pieces and metal debris and all that kind of stuff. If you come underneath of here, we've got a nice scored where the rod, you know, the connecting rod connected to. So basically, yeah, this is, you know, needing to be a rebuilt engine. And, you know, aside from all that, it's not his fault that the first problem happened, which I'm pointing over here because that's where we were describing the deal. It wasn't that. That's the new engine going in there. The first problem wasn't his fault. Second problem, I thought I fixed what we had happen. I had reused the original bearing. I'm not an engine guy. I don't rebuild engines. I don't have the knowledge to do that kind of stuff. This was probably a repair that was obviously a little bit beyond my capabilities, as we have figured out. But I attempted to do it because, you know, I needed to try to make that, you know, try to fix my first mistake, and now I'm actually fixing the second mistake, which was caused by the first mistake, and that's what we're doing here. And basically fixing my mistake here is requiring a new engine. Now, since I'm not an engine guy, yeah, I could take this engine apart, get a new crankshaft, probably reuse all of the pistons and connecting rods and all that kind of stuff, and put this thing together, because I've already done most of it, you know, because I've already done this particular job. That all seemed to went well. I could do this side, but I'm at the same time, I am not an engine guy. I am not. This is beyond the fact that I already tried to go farther than I had been capable of doing, and look what happened. So that's why we're going with a brand new long block here engine from Ford. Just a quick, this is kind of how it all comes. Obviously, it doesn't come with the high pressure fuel pump or the exhaust manifolds, but it does come with these studs. It's kind of nice and everything. It did come with this sensor right here. I put this on. This was already on. This is your main water pump. And then the flex plate I put on. The tone ring that goes behind here for the crankshaft position sensor needed to go on here, but the crankshaft position sensor itself was on here. And the oil cooler is on here. So that's kind of cool. This particular hose right here was not on here, obviously. I just transferred it over. And then, so yeah, we just got to build this all up and then, you know, get it installed in there. This one's going back to Ford as a core. And we'll get this thing running again. And hopefully we won't have to see it for a while because, you know, I mean, we got a whole bunch of new gaskets here, you know, exhaust manifold gaskets. We've got other various gaskets. We've got injector reseal. You know, this comes with a copper washer. The injector line should have a rubber washer in there, a rubber O-ring or whatever for that. We've got new fuel rails on both sides. We've got the crossover. You know, so basically, you know, what's really going to be original is just the high pressure fuel pump and the injectors themselves, you know, because there's nothing wrong with them. I'm trying to save a little bit. But, you know, this for me, this kind of sucks. This is the type of job I wouldn't mind doing, this kind of a job. But not getting paid for it is kind of a bummer, you know. And then why am I sharing this? Well, I mean, you know, if you've been in this industry long enough, and you know, my very first job was 2006. I'm going on 18 years, you know, and I did more industrial engines, generators, and stuff like that. So that's why I'm not an engine guy or a transmission guy or not even really an expert on AC systems and this, that, and the other, but I'm a very much a professional on electrical, and that's, you know, but I've had my shop only here for a few years now, 3-4 years now, on this particular go around. That's another story for another day. But if all I ever worked on was just anything electrical, that's all I want to do. That's all I understand. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do any of these big kind of jobs, this, that, and the other. This ain't bad. I like the way these Fords are put together. I like the way they're designed. These are very nice to work on. We just did a video actually I think I posted it yesterday, where we showed how to get this engine out of here and separated from the transmission, because the engine was completely seized up. I could not rotate the engine anymore with a bar or anything like that, and we showed how to do that. So the transmission is, you know, it's not in the right position. It's on a transmission jack right now, and, you know, pushed back there. So yeah, anyways, you could probably say, well, you know, you shouldn't have done that, shouldn't have done this. So yeah, there's probably lots of shouldn't have done this, shouldn't have done that. Hence the reason I'm in this position. From the very first problem, when I realized, you know, what was going on there, should we have, you know, not attempted to replace the piston and this, that, and the other? That's possible, but that was a lot less money than this. You know, that was $1,000 cylinder head and $40 piston, and, you know, various other gaskets and all that kind of stuff. It all added up to be about $2,000 that I was out then, and a lot of time. But, you know, the time is where I can try to make up things. So I attempted to do it. Learning now, should I have reused that bearing on the rod cap there, even though it was the original piston rod? I've talked to a few people saying, well, you should have been all right with that by putting the same parts on. Obviously, it just didn't work out in this case. And if I ever were to have to do this in the future, I would not go this far, or to do that particular repair, because, you know, getting the piston and all that. By that time, I would just be like, hey, we've got to get something other engine. A lot of times, if you're, you know, you're dealing with that kind of stuff, then you're going in, you know, with sometimes you might be trying to do an insurance claim. I don't think I'm going to go that route this particular time. I don't know. But, you know, why are we going with a long block engine? Well, a brand new long block engine, because of the price of this is just not a whole lot more than finding a used engine with 150,000 miles on it. It really is not. And we know that's going to be good. Yeah, so I mean, you know, going with the long block and everything like that, you know, or you know, remanufactured one, you know, from Ford, rather than just getting a used engine or whatnot. It all just basically came down to the cost. Right now, you know, with this engine, all the gaskets, new wiring harness, and all the fuel injection lines cross over, you know, this, that, and the other, probably right around, you know, $14,000 or something like that, with all these parts and stuff. Whereas, you know, you try to price out a used engine or whatever. I've seen a lot of them for anywhere from 6 to 7. A lot of them were around on an average of 8,000. There was a few of them a little bit higher in the nines and stuff like that, you know. But you're still looking at $8,000 just for the engine, which you still need to do all the fuel system, the new lines, and this, that, and the other. That you're probably going to be somewhere at the $10,000, $11,000 mark. So we're not talking about a whole lot more money. Whereas, you know, this has a warranty, and the used engine, you know, you don't know what life it's had and what it's going to be like. So that's why I'm going with this, is because, you know, of all the trouble that I've caused, you know, this customer and everything like that, I really just want this pickup to go down the road and run for this customer. And you know, because I want to stand behind my work. I made a mistake, and I want to I don't know, I'm sure there's plenty of other shops that would do the same thing, but there's also plenty of people in this world who wouldn't do the same thing. And that's unfortunate, but basically that's kind of why I was putting this video out here. You know, it's there's not a person that I don't think you could ever have been a mechanic for in excess of 5, 10, you know, 15 years. I'm almost pushing 20. That's ever not made, you know, some kind of a catastrophic mistake of some sort. Obviously some more than others and all that, but would like to have people in this industry that you know, shop owners, technicians, all that kind of stuff, with enough integrity to, you know, realize that, hey, I screwed up, here's what I'm going to do to fix it for you. And that's what we're doing here. You know, if anybody has any, you know, criticisms or any of that kind of stuff about what I did and how I did it along the way, that's great. That's perfect. You know, I need to learn from this as much as I possibly can to never have it happen again. Other people, you know, can learn from you know, my mistakes or whatever. I've put out other videos of mistakes I've made, whether it was a mistake. I have one with a troubleshooting where I made a mistake. You know, the video prior to this one on this pickup, I actually, you know, was filmed a little bit about me actually replacing that piston and all that kind of stuff, trying to fix my first mistake. Thinking back now, probably shouldn't have even tried that repair. Should have just went with another engine after that, once we figured out what had happened. But I thought I could fix that particular mistake. It ran good for a couple hundred miles, but in the end did not last. So basically, you know, I mean, it's fine if you want to bash on me or whatever and all that kind of stuff, because it really doesn't matter whether or not, you know, I made the mistake or, you know, how I tried to correct it and all that kind of stuff. The main thing is I've got the integrity enough to know that, hey, I screwed up. Here's what I'm going to do to fix it. And, you know, hopefully, you know, and I've told other customers exactly what's happened here. I'm not hiding it from anybody. Obviously, putting this video out, I'm not hiding it and all that kind of stuff, because this is what happened, and I can't change that. The only thing I can do is try to make it right in the best of my ability, and that's what we're doing here. You know, but like I said, I don't mind people criticizing me and all that kind of stuff. You want to go in the comments and bash, you know, oh, you're such an idiot and you shouldn't even be working on cars and this, that, and the other. And if that's your opinion, that's fine. But you know, I have been in business since 2018 with a few other struggles along the way that have nothing to do with me making mistakes. And you know, this shop brings in about, on average, about $150,000 of gross every year. So I am making some money. There are lots of vehicles that have come in and out of this shop that have been fixed and have not returned for a lot of those same problems. So I can physically do this work. It just happened to be this time supposed to be a simple little repair. Well, I wouldn't say totally simple. I mean, it's a fairly sizable job to remove the turbo and do the exhaust manifolds and all that kind of stuff, new studs and gaskets and whatnot, because we had some broken studs. You know, that was the original problem. You know, what turned into be supposed to be a, you know, somewhat of a simple job, did not turn out that way. And this is me just putting it out here saying, you know what? There are people in this industry that make mistakes and will correct them and try to do everything possible to make it right the best we can. And I hope there'd be more people in this industry that would, you know, be doing that kind of stuff. So hopefully this helped you out, and you know, I welcome any input and this, that, and the other, and I appreciate everything, and we're going to continue working in the shop as best we can, and I'll keep put out videos as I get jobs, and just like I always do. And I think we just had a milestone marker where I this week where I hit 5,000 subscribers, and so I mean, I do really appreciate everybody who actually has subscribed. I don't ask people to do that. And in none of my videos do I ask people to like and subscribe and do all that kind of stuff, because I can pretty much figure that you can do that on your own if you like the content. So anyways, I'm gonna close out this video and probably do an update, you know, after we get this thing fixed and all that, because we just put out another video. I'll put a link in the description for the, you know, when we separated the transmission and the engine here. You know, when that engine was seized, it is no longer seized now, because I've fixed or you know, removed that spun bearing on that rod, and it was the one that I had taken off. So now we know what's wrong. I'm fixing it. Hopefully this helped you out. I welcome your input, and thanks for watching.